Hey, it's X here, and I'm your favorite, of course, YouTuber with incredibly low self-esteem and self-worth. And I'm reading Caillou Goes to Jail, Chapter 4. Caillou Gets Arrested. So apparently this is where, I guess, things get real. Let's begin. Daddy got his phone out and dialed 911. It took quite a while because he couldn't remember the number for emergencies, for he was a big stupid head. Let's see, it was 199 or 119, he murmured. He tried 991, and a retarded Asian teenager picked up the phone. This was not meant to be racist. He greeted. Bewildered, Daddy hung up and tried 119. In the hallway, the foyer telephone started ringing. He was confused. Then he remembered, "Aw, crap! That's our phone number!" He hung up the kitchen phone, then ran to the stair landing in the foyer and smashed the other phone with a hammer until it shut off. "Ah!" He screamed madly. Finally, the phone ceased ringing. He then proceeded to drill through the broken phone pieces. "Why do we only have 3 digits in our phone number anyway?" he wondered, as he returned to the table. "But who gives a rat's ass? We're in a children's cartoon, for Christ's sake." "Moo! Bah!" Rosie galloped into the kitchen, making farm animal noises. "Nay!" She skipped to a stop when she saw Daddy. "Daddy okay?" she asked. "Rosie, can you go upstairs and get me the notepad off my nightstand? It might have the number for emergencies on it," Daddy said quickly, not really caring about his daughter and more on Caillou's arrest right now. "'Kay, Daddy," answered Rosie, smiling. She promptly ran up the stairs and into her parents' room. It wasn't too long before Rosie returned with the notepad. "Why Caillou crying? Caillou is in room crying." Okay, I'm going to take you out of the story here, guys, and I think I have an answer before it's even stated in the story. I think I know why Caillou is crying. Because he was threatened to be killed by his father, ate really awful food, and he got his ass whooped until it started bleeding. That's why. Okay, just making sure you know. Just making sure. Don't judge. "Because he's bad. Now give me that," Daddy replied flatly, snatching the notepad from Rosie's grasp. Let's see here. He flipped through the pad. "Oh yes, the emergency number is the same number as the day the WTC collapsed, World Trade Center, which we shouldn't go into detail about for the sake of our readers. That's 9/11. Thanks, Rosie. Now get out of my sight." And with that, he scooped up Rosie and carried her out of the room in one arm. Rosie screamed and cried, but Daddy just ignored her. Okay, if you've ever seen, like, the Persona 4 comic, like, I was just watching it. It's, like, the most funny thing ever. I'll, like, link it in the description. But it reminds me a lot of, the father from that. And I like that, because the father was, like, my favorite character in that. What was his name? Dojima, that's him. Yeah, watch that comic. It's hilarious. Freaking great. "Wah! Daddy, stop, sorry!" Rosie wailed as she was taken upstairs. "Why on earth are you sorry? Just shut up!" He slammed open the door to Rosie's room and forcefully put her into the crib. When she still squirmed, he duct taped her to the mattress so she could not get out of there. "Good night!" He shut the door, locked the door, and barred it. Now both children were... Gosh, this is so brutal, but I love it. Now both children were crying hard on the opposite sides of the hall. Daddy sat back down at the kitchen table, gulped from his wine bottle, and began to dial 911. Yes, he squealed as he dialed. He excitedly waited for someone to pick up. Over at the Montreal police station, the phone rang, and the nearest police officer picked up this phone. "Bonjour, poste de policeman Montreal. It's said edict Mike Ole. Comment bas posdio aider sesor." Daddy felt beads of sweat develop on his forehead. Canadian French wasn't a language he was used to, so it just sounded like nonsensical gibberish to him. "Why?" he lamented in his thoughts. "Why does the officer have to speak French? Why? Did we have a bilingual part of Canada in the first place?" He finally spoke after a long hesitation. "What?" he chuckled nervously. "What did you say?" On the other end of the line, Officer Macaulay had hit a brick wall in the conversation as well. Like Daddy wasn't a French speaker, Macaulay's family didn't have English as his native language, and only spoke French. "Quoi is dit? Je ne veux comprendre pas." "Huh? What the hell are you saying?" yelled Daddy into the phone. "Vol ervoir et prendre la Paris." The officer yelled back before slamming the phone into the receiver in fury. "Sacre bleu!" he muttered under his breath. Okay, I probably botched the French there a little bit. By that I meant a lot. I'm sorry to anyone who speaks French. But yeah, author's gotten a little bit better in writing. And, like, it's oddly noticeable. So I guess that's pretty cool. Daddy heard a dial tone on the other end of the telephone line blaring into his ear. He despised that sound. Well, fine, he huffed. If you're going to be that way, then I'll... He hung up. As he sat there at the kitchen table, the tears that he held back after Gilbert's death came back unexpectedly and rushed down his face like tiny rapids. He put his head in his hands and began to sob. No, he sniffled. I'll never be rid of that tiny bald-headed brat! Mommy suddenly appeared next to him. Are you crying? No! He responded quickly, awkwardly pouring his wine all over his head in an attempt to hide his tears. I spilled my wine. What's the matter? Questioned Mommy, obviously seeing through his fib. Daddy groaned defeatedly. Okay, I just want Caillou in jail, but I can't understand the police. Honey, I want Caillou in jail just as much as you do. Here, let me talk to them. She picked up the phone and began to dial again. You might have been talking to a French officer. Remember, this is Montreal, where at least half the people here are French, and if you don't know how to speak French, you're an idiot. Please don't start another argument. I don't actually want a divorce. I'm sorry, but the way we've been fighting lately, there's no other solution. Mommy shut her eyes sadly. Now watch the master at French work. The phone rang over at the station. The police officer Daddy had failed to communicate with before was smoking weed in an attempt to get out of his bad mood. Salute est Officer Macaulay. Officer Macaulay scoffed sarcastically. Monsieur que débilités êtes-vous? Bonjour, pas aditi un officer anglophone sur le téléphone par monnaie? Said Mommy, speaking fluent, perfect French impressively and effortlessly. Now, I'm sorry I can't convey that because I don't know how to French, but, yeah. So that's unfortunate. Weakness in the story. Because the author, the person who wrote this story, clearly translated it pretty well. And I don't know how to speak French, so that kind of sucks. 1 second, I have to burp. Morty! Okay, I'm done. Il ne comprende de tout français? Daddy's eyes grew wider and wider with every word his wife spoke in French. The feeling was almost indescribable. He was just amazed. The bulge in his pants, apparently, was amazed, too. The policeman's face brightened upon hearing someone who could speak his language. Oh, bon Dieu, madame, he sniffled before blowing his nose. Yes, he was that happy. Vol bénisse, madame. A large female officer with red hair walked in, about 40 to 45 years old. What's going on here? She gasped upon seeing a pyramid of cigars overflowing with marijuana sitting on a desk, and one of her fellow officers sobbing silently. Of course, she ignored the latter and went straight to the illegal substance on the desk. She swiftly knocked it off the desk into the garbage bin below. If I see one more pinch of weed, it's the big house for you, she warned threateningly. She snickered at the thought of a policeman ending up in the Husco. C'est pour vos? Macaulay whimpered, holding out the phone for the policewoman with a quivery smile, scowling. Off. Line Sky took the phone. That's a weird freaking last name. Line Sky took the telephone. Here's the phone, Boris. I got someone who speaks English. Hurry, take it before I hang up. Really? Why couldn't you just speak with your French to the other officer? Asked Daddy. SpongeBob can take a bath underwater, can't he? Retorted Mommy. Fuck logic. Gilbert suddenly appeared and broke the fourth wall, whispering, Seriously, if someone uses the F word one more time in this story, we're going to have to rewrite this story. What? Daddy was surprised to see Gilbert had survived with only a few bandages on his chest. I thought you were dead. By the way, would shit be a proper substitute for No, you don't. Gilbert covered Daddy's mouth in the nick of time. You can say anything you want, as long as it's not that word. Anyway, we're performing for children. You wouldn't want children to hear goddamn horrible words that only belong in hell. As in, what the hell, and not this place. Would ya? Daddy's jaw dropped. Would you hurry up already, you hypocrites? Yelled the policeman into Mommy's ear. Okay, fine. Daddy grabbed the phone. Hello. He bellowed into it idiotically. You prank calling me, mister! A voice barked over the line at approximately 317.3 decibels. Which, by the way, would break your eardrums, but As I'm such a glorious and great reader, I won't break your eardrums because I'm such a nice person. Give me more shekels. Thank you. Daddy screamed as he felt his eardrums explode. No, 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 he assured. You see, my son has been horribly bratty lately, and I just want to get rid of him. For the past few weeks, he's been absolutely insane. Today he refused to eat his supper and threw his plate on the floor. Daddy's eyes filled up again as he spoke, and he struggled to keep from having a nervous breakdown. Officer Linesky looked absolutely shocked. What? She started. Time slowed down drastically. Somehow, Gilbert knew what was going to happen and lunged towards the cellular telephone in slow motion. No! He cried. I'll save you, Gilbert said in a heroic slow-mo as he soared into the air. Trading. As he flew, he gained a Superman-esque costume and cape, only with the letter G replacing the letter S on the shield. Holy! The gray cat knocked the cell phone out of Daddy's hands and tackled it to the ground. What the? Shouted Mommy as he began to rip it apart. Finally, the phone was completely destroyed. Now there was still Mommy to take care of. Gilbert, man, knew he had to stop Mommy before she uttered the forbidden word. He tried to make as much noise as possible by tearing pots and pans and everything outside of the cupboards, but Mommy's voice could still be heard. Frantically, Gilbert put a big black bar with the word censored printed over it on Mommy's lips, and instantly her words began to come out like this. Gilbert Man had saved the day from the naughtiness once again. Doris, he panted as his superhero costume and cape began to fade away. Don't scare me like that ever again. He removed the black censored bar over Mommy's mouth, and she began to speak normally again. What? She shrugged. I was only going to say furry, you know. What the furry? You get me. Furry! Interrupted Daddy. That's the worst euphemism I've ever heard. Yeah, agreed Gilbert. Of course, this triggered another martial argument, so the pussycat slinked away, whistling nonchalantly. So there's like a gap in the story, so I guess it's my time to talk to you. This is meant for me to talk to you guys. I don't know how you like me reading this, but like, I'm having fun reading it, and I guess that's all that matters. Even though it'll probably be disliked to oblivion. Here's the thing. If I can get 30 likes on this video, I'll start, I do a Hotline Miami Let's Play. Yeah, that's what I'll do. It'll be short because I'm freaking awesome at the game, but that's what I'll do. 30 likes, come on, let's go. I don't think anyone's gonna watch it though. That's the bad part. Whatever. Continuing. Up in his room, Caillou was still sniffling as he wondered, how could this happen to me? Cue song. As it played, the child wondered what he could have done to cause this punishment. He thought about the events of a month ago, when he had to wait a day for the circus, but you probably already knew about that. I have to burp again 1 second. Marty, you gotta come with me. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I'm suppressing something in me. Where was I? Oh, okay, right. His thoughts and the song were interrupted by sirens outside. He looked out the window through his tears and saw nearly a dozen cop cars surrounding his house. His first thought was, cool. He opened his window and began to wave at the police as they ran out of the cars. Hi, cops! I'm gonna eat your heads off! He screeched, thinking this was just for play and not serious. One of the po-po shot Caillou a very dirty look as he caught up with the others, and they ran into Caillou's house. A helicopter marked SWAT hovered over Caillou's house next, and a bunch of men in badass-looking clothes slid down a rope onto the ground, also running towards the front door. Next, Caillou heard his father's voice saying, Hurry! Hurry! Get up the stairs! He's in the last room on the right! Suddenly, his bedroom door was kicked down as about 20 or so SWAT members, along with the majority of the town's police force, rushed into the room. You're under arrest for being a brat, one said to him. Caillou got out his play toy kitchen and flipped a burger on the stove. Want some dinner? He asked, holding it up for the cops to see. About 2 seconds of absolute silence later, 6 SWAT members knocked him to the floor and began punching him in the face. Caillou began to laugh uncontrollably. That tickles! Shut up, kid. You're going to prison, Officer Linesky told him. Being only 4, Caillou had no knowledge of what prison was. What's prison? He questioned. God, does this carrot ever shut up? I mean, prison is like a hotel where bad people go. Caillou accidentally thought that being bad meant to be good. A hotel? Really? Wow! He gasped. Linesky decided it wouldn't be decided, freaking tongue twister, man. It wouldn't hurt to stretch the truth just a little bit to tell the little moron. Yeah, we've entered you in a toy dinosaur fighting tournament, and you get a free stay in the hotel for 10 whole years. Think about it. Caillou imagined himself in a Ritz-like hotel with the comfiest bed ever, the biggest TV you've ever seen, a nice little fridge with fancy bubbly water in it, a lush bathroom, and a balcony overlooking a waterfall and a lake. Oh, Jesus, how I wish I could stay in a place like that. No, I think that's the author there, and I agree. I'd like that too. So, on with the story again. Can I bring Rexy? He yelled. No! What I meant to say was, he'll be happier here. The room's only meant for one person anyway. You wouldn't want him to feel cramped now, would you? Caillou thought about that. No, he declared. He'll be happier here. Yes, added another officer eating a donut. So you can, come to pick him up once your hotel time is over. And also, you've gotten a ride in a really cool car to the, hotel. As he spoke, he spit donut crumbs and candy sprinkles all over Caillou's face, but Caillou didn't even bother to wipe them off. Now, you go say goodbye to your folks, and we'll go show you where you'll be traveling to tonight. Caillou happily ran downstairs, where his mommy, holding Rosie, and Daddy were sitting on the living room sofa. Bye, Mommy! Bye, Daddy! Bye, Rosie! Love you! He said rapidly, kissing his family members one by one. Mommy put her hand over her mouth to muffle a chuckle, while Daddy was physically straining to keep from cracking up. I'm cracking up just reading this freaking story! I mean, it's crazy. I love it. It's the best thing ever. Anyways, back to the story. What's so funny? He asked. Oh, nothing, dear. Mommy shoved Caillou away, and he happily ran outside to the police car, which was disguised as a van painted with rockets and tools and other things preschool boys like. With donut crumbs still all over his face, the last thing Caillou's parents heard from him was an exclamation of, Cool! Caillou climbed inside the hotel van. Inside, it looked exactly like a police car. This didn't raise any suspicion to him, even though he had been placed inside a police car before, because he was just a stupid little 4-year-old boy. The skinhead punk was suddenly surprised by a policeman putting Caillou's wrists in cuffs. What are you doing? Oh, these are just to keep you warm, lied the policeman. Caillou believed him and nodded. Then the policeman got in the front seat and drove off. The last look Caillou got of his parents was of them cheerfully waving goodbye to him from the front porch, but he knew he wouldn't miss them a bit. To be continued, not kidding, there are like 3 more chapters after this. That's part of the story too. So yeah, that's Caillou Goes to Jail, Chapter 4. Took me a while to read. I don't know how I read it. Tried doing it like, I don't know, creepypasta, except for this is not a creepypasta. It might as well be a creepypasta, because I'm getting kind of spooked out just, listening to me reading this stuff. But, yeah. That's, Caillou Goes to Jail. Be sure to subscribe and like this video. 30 likes in the Hotline Miami. Yeah. So that'll be fun. Yeah, take care, guys. Have a great day. I'm PewDiePie. Be sure to subscribe, bros. How's it going? I'm PewDiePie and my life. I'm so lonely.